Hey everybody, welcome to Just Open It, the web series in which I finally open some of the action figures I've acquired in the last 2 or 3 years. My name is Russ, thank you for watching this. As you can see, we're in my living room and I am an action figure fan and collector. And I like to open my toys. In the last 2 or 3 years, I've purchased quite a few action figures, whether at retail or secondhand, that for some reason or another I just haven't gotten around to opening yet. So I thought, why not record the process and share it with you? Surely it will be entertaining, maybe a little educational, and at least beneficial for me in that I'll finally get these figures out of their boxes, which take up a lot of room, and up on the shelf, displayed where they can be enjoyed. A little bit of an origin story for my love of action figures before I dive into this episode's toy. I'm coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where my family moved from Connecticut in, I think, 1988. And at that time, like many other boys my age, I was 8 years old and I had an extensive Masters of the Universe collection. I mean, I had the figures, the vehicles, the playsets, Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, the Fright Zone, the Attack Track, of course, Battle Ram, Wind Raider. I had it all. And my parents had an opportunity, I'm sure, to sell those toys and start fresh when we moved to Arizona. You know, when you move, you're so concerned about clothes and furniture and things like that. They could have easily gotten rid of these well-played-with toys and found a new thing for me, which at the time probably would have been, and eventually was, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But all of those He-Man toys made the trip across the country, from New England to the desert, and I had those He-Man toys consistently in my childhood. And I still do. In fact, I was looking at the shelves to see Spydor and, characters, of course, like Clawful and Gwildor from the original motion picture. I had all of those toys then, and because my parents brought them with us to Arizona, I still have them now because it instilled in me an appreciation for these things. They should be opened, they should be enjoyed, sometimes by children and sometimes by adults. So, with that said, a little bit of my origin story as to why I'm such a fanatic about this stuff. We go to Masters of the Universe Origins, appropriately, the new He-Man line that's on the pegs right now at your local Target, Walmart, and wherever else might be carrying these. You could get He-Man in 3 different incarnations right now. This Origins line that started in 2020, the Masterverse action figure line, I believe it's called, that is meant to promote and reflect the characters from Masters of the Universe Revelation on Netflix. And then there's another Netflix He-Man cartoon targeting kids, a new demographic, and it's called, I believe, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Great show. And it has its own toy line. So those are 3 different ways you could find He-Man, his friends, and his enemies at retail right now. And it's not even counting like Funko Pops and Fisher-Price and some of the other ways that Mattel has licensed these characters to get them out there. For better or worse, in my opinion. I'm afraid that there could be an element of oversaturation here, which will prematurely end He-Man's renaissance. Or it could be that seeing them everywhere finally cements He-Man's role as a superhero in pop culture, and it will guarantee that we'll get more action figures and toys for years to come. It can go either way right now, but I'm grateful that these characters I love are so readily available right now for me as an adult collector and for kids to find and enjoy. My latest acquisition, as you've seen already, is Mosquitor. So I thought, what better figure to start this series than Mosquitor, the evil energy-draining insectoid. Just as these toys are draining my wallet, so too Mosquitor drains the energy from his foes. Now, if you're not familiar with the Origins line, specifically, on the back of these packages, it says, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures or in new action-packed battle positions. So what I love about this line so much, and it's probably my favorite toy line if not ever, then definitely right now, is that the characters appear in the same stature and general proportion as they did when I was a kid. But they have been modernized with better points of more points of articulation, which in layman's terms means I can move him more. And the sculpt is just a little bit finer, and you get a wider variety of accessories in some cases too. I'm not crazy about this additional head sculpt, but as I open the package here, we'll see. We'll see how it feels and what I think about it. Now, I didn't put a lot of thought into how this series will unfold. I mean, I'm just going to open this package, and I've put a lot of thought into this, and I'm not keeping the package. All of this art, which is absolutely beautiful. I love this art. You can see, I don't know how well you can see that there, but so passionately crafted and meant to please both old school fans like me with little Easter eggs. Like I believe this is meant to be the old vehicle Battle Bones back here, as Fisto escapes Mosquitor in an Eternian swamp. You know, this is meant to appeal to my nostalgia, but I think it's also meant to spark the imagination of a new generation of fans. And this art's available online. I could go to the artist's Instagram, and I could see this image. I could see this online. So I've just decided, for the sake of space, primarily, not to keep the packaging. That could be a controversial... Opening this, in and of itself, is probably a controversial decision for some collectors. But I'm not going to be super precious about it. What I want most is the toy, his accessories, and there's a little comic book in here as well, which, now that I'm thinking about it, might warrant its own episode altogether. But Masters of the Universe Origins Mosquitor, recently acquired at Target. I'm going to open him right now. And I'm going to start down here at the corner. And what I like to do is kind of, if I can, dig my finger in to the shell and just kind of run it along here. I don't want to damage the comic book, of course. Oh, I already got things falling out. It's okay. This might not be very interesting if you can't see the way I'm opening it, but alright, we got this, we got that. These items that fell, excuse me, YouTube. Okay, I've extracted the comic safely, and it looks like a little instruction sheet. Interesting. And look at that, actually, a fairly clean removal of the backing. Again, something that I could easily keep. Maybe put this in like a protective plastic bag, much like comics are stored, so I can enjoy the art in the back. But I can see this online now, and I just have to decide that there's only so much room where I live. And I live in an apartment. Some of you may live in a house, you may live in a big house, but you know what, there's only so much room. And are you going to keep the packaging to every toy that you buy? And I'm speaking to my fellow action figure enthusiasts. And if we're not talking about toys, what else are we talking about? Are you a collector of shoes? Do you keep the shoe boxes? I know that's a big thing. Electronics and so on. I'd be interested if you want to put in the comments. People that collect other things, do you keep the packaging? Because I don't know. I only know this world of collecting, I guess. But here he is. Mosquito, member of the Evil Horde, and I believe the second member of the Horde to be released in this Origins line, surprisingly after Hordak only. So this is going to be weird, but I like to smell the figures. I know, it's crazy. I'm an adult, but that's just the way I roll, I guess. And this just has that faint smell of factory plastic that assures me it's new, I guess. I don't know. And it's probably shortened my life somewhat. But some figures, especially in the He-Man line, like Stinkor or Mossman, have a scent. So that's not totally crazy. What I'm doing now is extracting Mosquito from this plastic casing. There are small rubber bands in here, keeping him in place. And now he is in hand. And this is very exciting, because he was one of the later releases in the original Masters of the Universe line. I'm not going to profess to know what wave specifically he was in. I am a hardcore fan, but some of that trivia has just escaped me over the years, since I haven't been keeping up on it. But here we go. Check him out. Mosquitor. Now, there were two on the peg at Target, and I picked the one that had the least paint scraped from his, what will we call this? Needle nose? Sucker? I'm not sure. So this one has some paint scraped, and the other one was worse. So I picked this one, and it still looks great, but it's a little disappointing. You can see his head is moving very easily here, and his arms are a little stiff, but they're moving. Legs, knees. See, the original He-Man guys had 5 points of articulation. You can move their head, you can move their arms at the shoulders, and you could kind of move their legs, but their legs were attached with a rubber band that for many collectors is frustrating, because that band ages, dries, and breaks or snaps, detaching the legs. So the fact that this is secure is great, with a ball joint, and then you have the knee, the ankle, the foot, the wrist moves both radially, I guess is the word, like this, plus like in and out like that. I don't know the official words here. But there he is, and just moving him around here ever so briefly, he's already in like a really cool like lunging pose. Now the thing with Mosquito is he sucks his enemy's energy, right? So this thing on his chest is meant to ooze blood, if I remember correctly. So I'm wondering if that's what this instruction sheet is. Oh, no, it's more just a diagram of the figure. That's kind of interesting. I don't see the point necessarily of that, but it's indicating where there are removable parts. So you can, I guess one of the features of this new line is that you can put his head and hands and feet on other, you could create your own characters, which is something fairly common now in the action figure community, customizing original characters. So it's kind of cool that Mattel has incorporated that into this line. But what I thought this was going to tell me, and maybe that's just on the back of the thing here, is yeah, if I push the button on his back repeatedly, it will prime the pump and then fill his chest with this oozing blood-like energy. So I'm not sure how well you can see this, so I'm just going to prime. There it goes. Ew. It's cool, though. It's very cool. Very cool. Fun feature. Fun feature. And there's just some fluid in there that's, you know, probably very hazardous if this figure were to open and I were to drink it, but which I won't. I would never. No, I would never do that. So there's Mosquito, as I recall. His gun, laser gun, which looks just like the originals, which is right over there on a shelf. I could have done a side-by-side comparison, but that's not the point of this. This is just to open the toy. So there's the laser gun. Now, I can pop off this hand, apparently, which is in a fist, which I like, and put this open hand there. I have no desire to do that. I don't think I will. This is meant to, I think, go on his snout like this. His needle nose, I don't know. And then this would go on his enemy. So this represents the draining of the energy here, which is very cool. So if this were another He-Man action figure, this would very easily go on a character like that. I really like how easily that went right on. These are super soft rubber. So that's fun. Easy to display in the future. Now, here's the thing. I could pop off this old school head and put this newly designed head on, which I wonder if this is like meant to be what he looks like without a helmet. Maybe that's what this is this is his organic head, and this is his armored head. So, let's see how easily the head pops off. Now, if I was a kid, I mean, this is what kids do, I guess, is they generally destroy things, but like this would have freaked me out. Ah, it popped right off. And then the new head goes on fairly easily, I guess. I mean, there it is. It's on there. I'm not crazy about it. It might grow on me in time, but I like the old school look, as most fans do. We like the traditional way of things. So here he is, Mosquito from Masters of the Universe Origins. I'm very happy with this purchase. Here's just a different kind of pose right here. Bam. Now, I have acquired almost every Masters of the Universe Origins figure that has been released since 2020. The only ones I have not purchased yet are the repainted Evil Lyn, which is meant to look like the 2000X incarnation. I'm really not interested in a straight repaint, so I'm not going to buy that figure. I already have Evil Lyn. And then the deluxe Target exclusive set of Battle Armor He-Man with Battle Cat, and they're battle damaged. They have like blood marks on them. I haven't purchased that yet either. I might, but I'm thinking about it because, again, it's really just another repaint. You have a beautiful chrome armor for He-Man, but it's a $50 gift set, or exclusive set, I should say. I think back in the day they were called gift sets. So I'm on the fence about those things. I'd rather invest my money in the original characters as I remember them and love them. But I may splurge on that. And if I do, I'll open it here on Just Open It. But this is the second figure. All that is to say, this is the second figure I've opened in the Masters of the Universe Origins line after He-Man himself. This is only the second figure I've opened in that whole Origins line. So the way the joints move and the general feel of the figure is still relatively new to me, even though this is a 2-year-old action figure line and I'm professing it's my favorite. Mosquito definitely confirms that this is an awesome line of action figures, specifically honoring the way He-Man figures were and the way they can be now. I love this. I can't wait to pose him on the shelf alongside other members of the Evil Horde and have She-Ra and He-Man positioned to take them down. So, I haven't even looked at the mini-comic yet. Horde Plague. Ooh, we're using the word plague right now, Mattel? Interesting choice. But on the back is advertised Battle Armor He-Man, Battle Armor Skeletor, and Buzzsaw Hordak, all of which I have. Wind Raider, Castle Grayskull. Got him. Not bragging. Perhaps just teasing what's to come. I don't think I'm going to flip through this. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it and read it later as a fan. Thank you for watching this video. I don't know if there's any entertainment value here, but it's definitely productive for me to open these toys. And so knowing that maybe a few folks are watching this and getting some enjoyment out of it gives it an extra layer of purpose. So thanks again, folks, and I'll come at you next time with a brand new toy that when I look at it, I'm telling myself, just open it. See you next time.